Hello, Oracles. Do we have a Tesla stock buyback coming? Sounds like this could be a potential that is coming maybe even as soon as Q3 earnings announcement. We will see what is going on soon, but Steve and Mark Ryan did a great breakdown going through the entire S&P credit rating upgrade notes that they had put out for everyone to see. Seems like they had some pretty deep talks with Tesla going on. They had mentioned AI Day, mentioned financials, used a lot of the same terminology that Tesla has been using all along. So maybe this is why Elon had stated previously that Moody's is irrelevant. Maybe Elon said this because they were discussing with S&P and S&P had been questioning them about a lot of different things to be able to give them this upgrade. Very strange that they gave them an upgrade before Q3 earnings. Normally we would see them come after the earnings because we can all see the numbers that are going on. The S&P can then take a look at it and say, all right, they have proven us with their numbers. They have hit the criteria that we are looking for, and now we can give them their upgrade. So to have them do it early is very strange. They did it right after AI Day, so with the Optimus prototype coming out, seems like maybe that was part of what got worked into it. Then we got the news of the Semi right after we got the upgrade. Maybe that was another piece of information that the S&P had before they had given this credit rating upgrade as well. Who knows what other information they have? Maybe a buyback is part of that information. Again, nothing is confirmed. We do not know for sure, but let's take a look at some of the other information that we have that could lead us to believe that we could be getting a buyback before the end of the year. So Elon earlier in the year had mentioned that buybacks would be on the table. Dividends most likely not for a long time, if at all, but a buyback is definitely potential depending on what they have for cash flow, cash coming in, depending on what they have to spend on other things. Their CapEx spending right now is looking between $7 to $9 billion per year, and their free cash flow is going to be significantly more than that, so they should have this excess cash to potentially be doing these buybacks. Now we also get information that the Inflation Reduction Act has a 1% excise tax on all share buybacks that goes into effect on January 1st of 2023. So it would behoove Tesla to do a buyback before the end of the year. Now in discussing with Alexandra, there's two different ways that Tesla could do this buyback. First is they could take their free cash that they have on hand and they can use that to do the buyback. The second would be that they would issue a bond for whatever amount they wanted, let's say it's $2 billion, and then they would do a buyback for that exact amount. This is sort of playing the game like Apple does when it comes to their credit rating increases, but when you've looked at Apple over the years, when they started doing this back in 2013, their stock has done extremely well, and they've been as high as 26 million shares outstanding, and they have come down significantly since then, with their stock price clearly going up very well. So this could be something that Tesla does start to get into. And as Gary Black had mentioned in the past, buybacks have the advantage of they can turn it on or off as they need. It's not like a dividend where usually when you start doing a dividend, you have to keep on doing it. With a buyback, they could be like, you know what, we have the extra cash this time around, we're going to go ahead and do a buyback. We don't have the cash or the stock price is running really well right now, we're not going to do a buyback. They have a lot of options when it comes to doing all the buybacks, and right now, with the stock price where it is in the low $220 range, seems to be a very good price to buy at. Looking at the stock in particular right now and the other pieces of the charts that we look at, the RSI is at 27. Now the RSI is the relative strength index. Anything under 30 usually means that the stock is oversold and we can anticipate some buying pressure coming in. So we could potentially be seeing some buying pressure coming in. We do have another week and a half before we get to earnings on October 19th. We do have the Cpi and Ppi data coming up this week. One of the first times this year that we have seen the PPI data actually come out the day before the CPI. We will be getting PPI on October 12th, which is Wednesday, and then CPI will be released on the 13th, which is Thursday of this week. Expectations for CPI as of this moment are 8.1%. I would still like to see us come in at the 7% range. We will see what's going on. We had an 8.1% target for last month as well, and we came in at 8.3%. We will follow this, see what's going on. If there are any updates to that expectation, I will let you guys know. But just to take a look at how the stock could potentially move over the next week going into earnings, again, seeing as the RSI is at 27, not to say we couldn't sell down further, but we are getting to that significantly oversold range, and I'm anticipating some buying coming back in. And who knows, some of that buying could potentially be Tesla buying some of their own stock. We shall see. And there's nothing to stop Tesla from doing some now and some at the end of the year when they know what their financials are going to look like for Q4. Maybe they'll have some free cash flow that they'll want to do at the end of the year as well before we get to that excise tax of 1%. Again, none of this is set in stone. None of this is confirmed. They may not do any buybacks at all, but just looking at all the different information that we have out there sounds like this could potentially be going forward. Now, with a credit rating upgrade as well, if Tesla does end up doing this buyback, it will signal to all of the institutions that are out there who have not invested in Tesla yet because they still had a junk credit rating. Maybe they are going to look at this buyback and say, oh, this is something that's going to entice us. We see that Tesla is going to do what is right for their shareholders with their excess cash, so this is another reason we are going to want to invest in them. And we could see a mass push and buying pressure coming in from institutions as well due to this buyback. And one of the other things that S&P had discussed was how Tesla has had their supply chains all locked up and they're doing a great job of navigating all of the supplies. And now we talk about the lithium refining that is going on. And Elon had responded to Dr. Jack saying that, Master Plan Part Trois is going to be all about tonnage. So this, now going into the lithium piece of things, is saying they need just the amount of materials needed to get them to Master Plan Part 3 and get the world transitioned over to renewable energy. That is what the focus is going to be. So Tesla getting into that field as well is probably something we will be hearing about soon, maybe on Q3 earnings, or maybe we will hear about it in Master Plan Part Trois, which should be coming out soon. And now we also got some delivery reports coming out of Shanghai. Sounds like they have delivered 83,000 vehicles in the month of September, which is a record. So these are the wholesale numbers. Troy Teslike over on Twitter had mentioned how he's waiting for the CPCA numbers to come out on October 11th to get the full breakdown, because in the past they have lumped in with the whole goods, domestic and exports. So he wants to see that breakdown to see if that is truly what happened this time around as well, just so we can see the breakdown, because we know that they started exporting earlier this month. They did it on the 21st versus the 26th. So it'll be nice to see this breakdown, because that could really answer some of the questions that we may have about this demand, whether it's actually a demand issue, delayed demand, a lot of other things that are going on. So we should be getting those answers on October 11th. That is Tuesday. So now looking at the levels as we are trading right now, again, we're just going to break those down. I am going to be doing a full video for this week for you guys. I'll do a live stream. I apologize, last week we didn't get to it because, well, hey, having Alexandra on definitely took priority over that. But I'll break it down for you guys. But to give you guys the levels of support and resistance that I'm looking at currently, we're looking right now, we are sitting at that $223 level of support that we had discussed previously. Going down from here, we are looking at between 213 and 215 for a support on the next level down. Then we have 207. 207 is the lowest we have seen all year at that 620 to 621 range prior to the split. Below that is a $200 psychological support. Below that is $191. And then right below that is a $187 gap. Those are the levels below us. Now again, the RSI is at 27. I cannot fathom us pulling down right now. I think we are going to bounce up. No one knows what the future is going to bring. There's a lot of uncertainty. We've got talks of nuclear war going on out there. I mean, talk about peak fear in the markets right now. So I am not anticipating anything major going on, but looking at the RSI alone, I think we could bounce initially. But again, so many uncertainties in the world right now, who knows? But now looking on the upside, so let's think about some positives. Looking on the upside, the next step up is we have that $232 support that we had previously that will now act as a resistance. Now don't forget, every single number that we had before that was a support for us that did break is now going to be a resistance going back up. So all the numbers are basically the same. Some moved a little bit on the way back down, so I adjusted those. So next level above 232 is 243, and then we have 265 above that, then 279, 289, and then $300. Now we do have that gap that is sitting around that $265 mark. Previously that acted as a very nice support for us. Then it created a gap on the way down. So we have that gap on the way back up to fill at that 265 level. So all in all, I'm very excited about a potential buyback coming. I do think we may hear about it on the Q3 earnings, just going by all the information that we have right now. Not really sure, of course, nobody knows for sure, but just taking a look at the numbers, I do have a feeling we are going to hear about a buyback before the end of the year. So you guys can let me know in the comments below, do you think we are going to get a buyback before the end of the year? Do you think it's going to come on Q3 earnings? Maybe it's going to happen for my birthday on November 8th and Elon's going to announce it. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments on that. And I want to take a minute to thank all of our patrons and members. I've got a full list in the spreadsheet that is broken down at the end of this video to shout out all of you guys and thank you for all of your support. I do have exclusive content over there. I will be doing an exclusive live stream for you guys to break down all of the different levels that I see and how I find all of these levels to try and help educate you guys so that you can do your own due diligence and research in the future. If you guys are interested in becoming a member or a patron, those links are in the description and the pinned comment down below. Otherwise, I want to thank you guys all so much for all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat, that link is down in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, we do have a Patreon, that link is also in the description. Thank you so much. Have a great one.